Thank you, Jacob. Hi, everybody. So we all love Better Call Saul, and what was that? Breaking Bad. So this is stuff that I'm working on with my partners. Um, we've tested a few ideas around how can we bring agentic AI to enterprises, and legal firms is a target market. So that was, there are a bunch of other verticals we are targeting, but that was one of the ideas that we were exploring while I started the cohort. So I thought, might as well build a prototype here. So um, not a fully fleshed out use case because I cannot replicate what a client would do, but here we go. So it's a legal deep research assistant, and even the deep research part got upgraded while we were in the cohort. Until then, it was a agentic legal assistant. So now the deep research comes in. Okay. Uh, much of this is validated is that the biggest challenges facing, just imagine a small-sized legal firm, um, lots of lawyers, lots of interns, lots of legal assistants, and lots of manual processes. So a typical legal firm that deals with either caseload or deals with the contracts and a bunch of documents. And that's how this whole process started, where we said, can we automate some of the document process? OCRs and llama parts and those kind of things. But turns out, there's quite a bit of stuff here to do. Is that there is staff turnover, there is just legal research in general. And the real idea that this is headed towards is to say, if there is a decent sized legal firm that has, internal data, a whole bunch of external data, how much can we automate where they can reduce the stress on the on their staff, right? Because each time a staff turns over, this is very specialized jobs. It's not trivial to kind of ramp up. So all of these are the use cases that go into this. The solution, most of these images are just ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT for a good image, and it's producing pretty good ones. Okay. Multi-agent system, which is fine-tuned on legal data. Firm specific would be the end goal. Right now, I do not have firm specific data. So what I've done is taken, legal glossaries, things like that. And sky's the limit in terms of how much you can fine tune. And definitely, you can see a difference between a simple, Chat GPT type interface versus some very nuanced legal terms that you need fine tuning on. So embedding model as well as the final model fine tuned does much better. Okay. Obviously, there's a conversational chatbot interface. Now, this can be used by lawyers. Let's say there is a high-powered lawyer sitting in his firm, her firm, just wanting to search into their own database and say, what happened in that case that we did? That kind of stuff. Paralegals, interns inside the company, as well as clients potentially that can be, using this for any sort of, quick chatbot type interface, eventual goal. Automating legal research came out with all of these deep research type questions. Models that are coming out is that can we go out and create a good full-fledged report? Another important legal research use case is a legal brief that we can create. So this is a brief that can be admitted into court. So if a lawyer could be assisted to create a legal brief where they just have to quickly pick and choose a few things, and an entire brief with the right format, template, and everything is created. That'll be awesome. And integrating multiple sources. The basic idea there is that's a no-brainer, except again, there is legal firms, and I do not know enough legalese to understand how many different sources are there. I know so much, there is a lot. Just researching into this, I found that there is, exotic, Reuters and Bloomberg are the standard ones that are publicly available that you can pay and access the APIs, but there's a whole bunch of, legal possibilities. Okay. So what is the solution looking like? There are agents. Wikipedia is like a simple search where a user can go in and say, what is Roe versus Wade, and can come back with an answer. Reddit discussions will generally get the local chatter that's going on, the current contemporary chatter about what's going on today. So it's an example of any social media, let's say Facebook or whatever. The glossary agent is something that can train the model on legal speak and legal words. Google Scholar, I didn't know this, has an amazing repository, not just of patents and patent applications, but legal case law. So it can literally search across all the cases across the US, right? And then finally, the deep research part, which is the report generation part, where it can go out and print out a good report. Tech stack, pretty much in sync with what everybody else has done here. LLM, we can replace that with anything. Text embedding, for now, I'm using OpenAI's standard one so that there is no issues. But I fine-tuned the Snowflake, and it did really good in identifying things. So fine-tuning really worked on the embedding. Vector database, straightforward. Evaluation on Ragus, LangChain, and deployed on Hugging Face. So here's a quick demo. Okay, let's take the most, in topic for today, which is contested presidential elections. And it will go and, given that the question was framed in that way, what is the legal history? It went out and, got a list of all the things that happened. And there's nothing about 2020 or anything, but yet, but okay. What are some, or for example, what is Roe versus Wade? So now I've seen this happen a few times where it used to work well, but all of a sudden it'll say, the constraint will fall in place and say, I can only answer legal questions. It has to identify that it is. So produces make a detailed report about this. So it chooses the right agent and then goes out and creates a report writer tool. And then the resulting report, and again, sky's the limit on this in terms of what kind of report, what kind of format. But it's produced a pretty big report, goes out, researches everything, and comes back with. So potentially in the future, a legal brief or any of these things are a possibility. I also wanted to show some weird legal terms and see if it can. So it's actually trying to use the RAG tool to figure out what this particular term is, which a normal human being would not know. So it's doing a good job, and this is not even the fine-tuned embedding model. This is just, but it's understanding enough to say when a term comes in that is potentially extreme legalese to refer to the embedding model that's been fine-tuned. So it's doing that. And the most exciting thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that, what the possibilities are. So going back to here and saying, so this is what I would sell to a customer and say, and I'll add more things to it. It reduces cost, stress, increases accuracy, and keeps getting better. But what's the future? And this is where we will probably try and put pieces of these in place for future, which is expanding RAG data. I mean, there is a book called the Black's Law Dictionary, which is like probably the most comprehensive law dictionary in the world. So there is that. It's a low-hanging fruit over there. Like I mentioned, Reuters and Bloomberg API for much better legal lookup. Document intelligence is how my partners and I originally started this project, is that can we just scan all their documents and OCR it and make intelligence out of that? But really, there is an enormous amount of stuff that can be done. So this use case, what started just as a document processing, llama parse, OCR kind of thing, I'm amazed that there is so much to do. So with that, I will end. Thank you.